welcome everybody once again for another Atos Manufacturing Fireside Chat. Things have changed, also the way we communicate, the way we think, the way we deliver, and also the way we change the format and adapt it to the needs and the requests from dear audience. It's so great that you're following up on the different topics, asking if we could cover the one or the other topic. But on the other hand, sometimes we get the question, well, as a customer, what's in for me? And especially thinking about the market of Northern Europe, this is something we would like to cover right now. So we changed the format a little bit. And yes, today my pleasure to have the very first Fireside Chat roundtable. And it's the topic of your ideal path to PLM success in Northern Europe. And there could nobody better explaining to what is up to, how a powerhouse for that is working out than Dean Druckard, Senior Vice President, Head of Manufacturing Northern Europe. And hi, great to have you here, Dean.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. You know, it's always great if things changing, if like a fireside chat format. Normally I had to talk with just a simple interview, but today we don't have just like you in the call. We have some more people covering different topics, how things have changed in the past, but especially, and I think that's your main message also, what's in for the customer side, what's the value. But okay, I don't spoil too much anymore. Dean, I would like give it over to you and just like start it off wherever you want. And I'll just be a host and go with some questions, especially if the audience comes up with questions during the live.
Okay, thank you. And welcome. We were originally trying to get hold of Tom Hanks. He wasn't available, he was too expensive. So you've got me instead. So I'll be your host, and I'm going to introduce myself. So as Fizzo said, my name is Dean Druckard. I'm the head of manufacturing in Northern Europe. I've got some colleagues here in London with me today who I'm going to introduce. So first one up is Ryland, England. So could you introduce yourself?
Welcome all. My name is Wijnand Engelen, and I'm sales director for the region Northern Europe Manufacturing.
Thank you. And also in front of me, I've got Simon Coulshaw. Simon, would you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. My name is Simon Coulshaw. I'm responsible for business development in manufacturing in Northern Europe.
Thank you, Simon. And I'm going to try the technology to see if it works. I'm calling Finland. Finland, are you there? And I should be finding Jaakko.
Finland is here. Hello.
You introduce
Hello,
yourself,
everybody.
please? Thank you.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Jaakko Hartikainen is my name, CEO of Ideal Group. Happy to be here.
Perfect. Thank you. So the way we've tried to structure this a little bit is we're going to do a conversation. Hopefully, it's a very odd conversation because I've got the speaker phone and they've got a camera on their laptop, but we're going to give it a go. And I keep looking at them because I can see them, even though I can see them on the screen too. But we'll give it the best we can. So my question, I guess, over to Ryland and Simon was, you know, you guys are working heavily with our clients in Northern Europe. And, you know, I'm interested to know what our clients are saying and what is the expectations of system integrators like Atos, and where do you see us playing? That would be the question.
Okay, thanks, Dean. Let's kick this one off from my side. So, if we look at our customers and also the change which we envisage for the last years, we see very much that the IT environment and the OT environment start to emerge more and more. The convergence of both these environments. If we look at this is of course not strange, because if you look at the business case for our customers, they also like more and more the integrated end-to-end view of the combination. The second topic, what we see in the request we get is very much related to the security part, which sometimes is better organized on the HQ level than across all plants. So security is high on the list of let's say, I would say, the next steps to go for the end-to-end process. This digitization on itself is not only a technical game. This is really also something, if you add everything up, there's more flexibility, more innovation power, and lower cost involved. So last 2 years, we see quite some demand from our customers where this is brought in. Now, if you bring this back to where Atos comes from, then I guess you all know us a bit from historic perspective, where we are very close to the corporate IT sourcing. as a system integrator. The last 2 to 5 years, we invested quite a lot in MES, PLM capability to get us closer to the production business environment. And this is really part of our strategy. We really want to take this end-to-end responsible role, IT, OT, and be the system integrator of that part. By the way, not on our own, because we've got partnerships to support that, and acquisitions, where we will talk about in a minute, to strengthen this operational knowledge. And maybe, Simon, you could give us some more examples and your view on how this works out.
Yeah, so I'd echo very much what Wijnand said around smart manufacturing, in particular smart factories. It's very much a topic on the agenda of all the both business people and IT people that we're speaking to in the manufacturing sector. Particularly that's driven by introduction of new products. But, if you take the automotive sector, you're seeing the introduction of electric vehicles. It's also driven by new technologies around sustainability. So the search for alternative fuels, new battery power, etc. So sustainability is very much on the agenda. But what I'm seeing, which is different, I think, is the ability to do this at scale, and in particular around, I think a lot of companies were stuck very much in kind of pilot purgatory, particularly in smart manufacturing projects, very much spending on very small amounts and not really progressing beyond there. But I think we're starting to see quite a significant change in that. So we've got projects going on with the likes of Renault at the moment, where they're really starting to invest in smart manufacturing, digital manufacturing projects, really at scale. The other thing I'd say around that we're seeing within the industry is a real focus on supply chain, and in particular visibility in the supply chain. The whole focus has changed from moving from a perspective of beating up your suppliers and getting them to the lowest possible price, to actually looking after them and making sure that your suppliers have sustainable businesses as well as you, because that's absolutely critical to keeping products going. And all of that, I think, is leading to a lot of new business models. So seeing an increasing focus on things like servitization and on personalization in CPG industries, and in fact, right across pretty much all industry sectors. So it's quite an exciting, I think, place to be manufacturing now. And the digital transformation is very, very much at the top of the agenda. In fact, it's forecast to be the most significant spend in terms of all industry sectors by 2025, with some $800 billion spent globally by that time. So quite significant and quite significant changes. And as Wijnand said, it's moving away from traditional IT spend very much into the operational side and operational technology.
And do you think some of that's been accelerated from the likes of COVID, the adoption that we're starting to see in manufacturing and the investment, from your view?
Yeah, certainly. I think when you look at what's happened with COVID with supply chains, there's an increased focus on making sure that you've got resilience built into your supply chain.
Yeah.
And I think you've seen lots of product companies move into finding different ways to become more agile in the way in which they're manufacturing, because they've got to change to different demands within the market. So, within aerospace and defense, for example, we've seen market demand plummet, particularly civil aerospace in recent years, because people aren't flying as much. But you're left with a huge cost base and a very rigid manufacturing structure, which is very difficult to tweak, very difficult to tweak up and down.
Very good. Thank you. And, I would say that, from my perspective, looking at Atos currently, I think Atos traditionally is seen as infrastructure, data center, help desk type supplier. We're always in the quadrants of Gartner and Forrester. But as we all know, in our team, we don't want to be there. We want to be seen as a not just IT, but we want to be in the OT space as well. And I think it would be good if we could talk about some of the let's say the things that we're doing in this market, because I think we're really known well, as I say, for infrastructure, but less so maybe for the manufacturing plant type scenarios. So I wondered if the two of you could perhaps talk us through some of the customers, the opportunities that perhaps people who might be watching this may not know us for. And I think it's, certainly builds on the story of where the market is going. And I think we have a lot to offer from a system integrator perspective. So could I hand that back to Simon or Ryan? Which one do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned one of them just a minute ago. So we've been doing a lot of work with Renault. In fact, we've got a joint go-to-market with Renault on industrial data management proposition, which really approaches the whole way in which you're collecting data from the shop floor in a very different way. What's different about that is that they're doing it at real scale, and I mean real scale. So they're rolling it out right across all of their factories. And the reason they're doing that is because they've seen very substantial gains in terms of savings that they can get from doing that. So they're talking about 80 million savings in the first 18 months. They're targeting 270 million of savings by year 3. So very, very significant.
Yeah.
And that just illustrates the kind of differences I was talking about earlier. I think that companies are really looking to do this at scale now. And we're seeing that kind of thing permeate down into much smaller businesses as well. So we're doing some very interesting work at the moment with the Hartree Centre. We've just won some funding from Innovate UK to fund an industrial data management platform which is aimed, although it will be available to all manufacturing businesses, it's actually aimed at small and medium businesses. So some of the supply chain businesses that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So the suppliers into large automotive companies, into large aerospace companies, for example. And those types of things, I think, seeing a lot more collaboration in the industry generally. And that's giving rise to all kinds of new possibilities, including new business models for everybody involved, I think.
Okay. Arnold?
Yeah, maybe one to add to that. It is, by the way, by coincidence, also in the automotive industry, but this is a journey we as Atos were in already for 18 years with this customer. It's a big truck producing company on European and global scale. And from tradition, we run their mainframe, we run their application environment. About 8 to 10 years ago, we did MES implementations in their plants, PLM implementation, last 5 years. But about also 5 years ago, we entered into a project with them called Connected Truck, where we really created a joint business case, customer and us, how we could really save money for the fleet owners of the truck. Second main topic was to gather data from these trucks, so the R&D department and production from this company could really get that information and see that as fuel for their thinking of new versions of truck and motor and engine, and improve a complete different service revenue channel for the truck producer directly to the owners of the truck. So we established this as an end-to-end responsibility from an Atos perspective. It created a big change with that customer, but to be honest, also a big change for our organization, because this was not a project where we ran this from A to Z and got paid by the project. We fueled and we invested in this project. We get paid based on the amount of trucks connected to the solution. The size of the application, because it's modular, like you watch TV, they can select certain sub-apps which they want to use. We get paid on that level. So for us, suddenly it is important to understand what, let's say, the forecast of the total amount of trucks to be produced is about, because that fuels our revenue stream. And you can imagine, in that example, we are as Atos very close to the innovation thinking of the customer, because we have to. It's in our direct interest that as much as possible, their customers make use of this type of functionality, just as an example to add.
Perfect. Thank you. So that brings us on to Ideal. I've got Jaakko over there in Finland. Some of you may know that we acquired Ideal back in July of last year, and it was part of our strategic direction around improving our go-to-market strategy around PLM, Team Center, and the whole sort of manufacturing deep technical knowledge that we were trying to get ourselves into. So with that, if I can, Jaakko, what I'm interested to hear from yourself is you've now been in Atos now for, let's say, 6 months. I'd say the first 2 months were crazy integration, so maybe we didn't get time to really spend too much time in Atos. But I'm just interested to know from your view, you know, you've got this sort of deep-rooted engineering company that you're responsible for, and now you're part of Atos. What do you see benefits not only for your customers in Ideal of the Atos relationship, but what benefits do you see for Atos customers from Ideal? So maybe you could give us some feedback on that.
Sure. First of all, I mean, it's been super exciting to join the Atos family, and you know, the global teams where we've seen and learned about the superb expertise and vision and very nice capabilities, which are obviously needed. As Simon well said, the scale is everything. What our customers are looking for at the moment. Also, of course, the manufacturing industry inside Atos being extremely strong and visionary has been really impressive. And I would say, I mean, for those who don't know Ideal, we are doing very much the similar type of things that's been discussed already in here. So we are re-engineering our clients' operations and business to really reduce the time to market or accelerate innovation, design better products, operate more efficiently, and of course also very much managing the complexity of manufacturing and engineering overall, which is obviously increasing all the time, and not you know only accelerating because of, for example, the supply chain challenges that we see. Now, in more practical terms, if I a little bit describe what Ideal is, because I believe that not everybody knows about the company. Yeah. We are basically the number one Siemens Teamcenter PLM powerhouse in the Nordics. We have 100 deep tech knowledge having people in the team, and really those people who've been there hands dirty for the past 5, 10, 15 or 20 years doing this. And I believe that the matter of the fact is that there are many on the market who can speak. I think there are many who can recognize all these challenges, and I think there are even many who can conceptualize things quite well. But what we've learned is that there are less of those who actually know in detail how to implement it. And I think that is really one of the truly differentiators of Ideal, and naturally now part of the Atos capabilities, and then of course available for all the clients of Atos. So that's obviously a part of that, I would say. Then maybe if I continue a little bit, so a couple of examples we are working with our clients at the moment, just to give you a bit of examples of what kind of concepts we are typically talking about. It's obviously very much about, for example, if we call it the closed loop manufacturing, so really combining the ERP, PLM and MES, and really building the seamless processes across all these different systems and end-to-end processes. Or if you think about the transformation from engineering to order to the configure to order world, where of course then combining that with, for example, the transformation which many are going through now or designing to SAP S/4HANA, and thinking that what would be the roles, the optimal roles to meet the business objectives of the different systems and processes. I think these are exactly the type of challenges and type of quite complex topics that this team is in, experiencing over the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So just to give you a bit of a flavor on what kind of solutions we are building every day.
Okay, thank you. And for my personal view, it's quite exciting to have you and your team as part of my team, because it's when I look at the diversity in what we do in manufacturing, it's just mind-blowing, and it's exciting. I was asked to do a video for a sales conference, which I think is tomorrow, and it's easy. I mean, if you just look at the stuff we're doing around connected vehicles, connected cars and trucks, and then you look at what we do in PLM space around the predictive maintenance, it's so exciting. And really appreciate having Ideal Group as part of the Atos brand. I think it's really good. So with that, I'm sort of pushing back to you, Fezo. I don't know if you have any questions. We have got a
No, it's like right when we
have some time for questions.
Right. No, it was great listening to all that. But now also when you mentioned there were so many great examples is there something particular you could point out where you say like, wow, just like also from a personal side, that was one of the biggest challenge, but also like, wow, that was the coolest thing done, or what we are up to, or what you're looking forward, also in regards to our customers?
I guess my question, to my colleagues here, I mean, I think the most, I say most exciting, but the one I think is at real scale is what we're doing in the connected truck area. I mean, just to put it is, we're doing around 90,000 at the moment connected trucks.
Wow.
That's huge, I would say, and it was a program that we've been working on for many years. And it's quite innovating, and I look at also the stuff that we're now doing with Renault, mind blowing, that we're going to get into, connected vehicle and perhaps help with making it driverless. I mean, that's frightening and exciting at the same time. I'm not sure I'm happy about having a driverless vehicle. I've been driving cars too long, but no, I mean, just think about, our traditional workload used to be help desk, workplace, data center, cloud also, and now we're shaping, connected trucks, or we're working on vehicles that could be driverless. I mean, it's just amazing and exciting at the same time.
Well, absolutely. That's just like a huge shift. What you see like from that one place, and now just like, yes, the question would be, would you already step into one of those trucks? But I think we should not cover that in this session right now. But we are going there. So pretty sure on that part. Also, Simon, like for you, what you say like, oh, wow, that was so special. The audience should know about that. Customers should know about that. Partners should know about that. Anything you could point out right now, or is it top secret?
Yeah, no, I think I'd go back to the comment I made around delivering things at scale, and the fact that you see a lot of manufacturing businesses stuck in a bit of a state of pilot purgatory with lots of Industry 4 type initiatives going on. And what I find exciting, it's not rocket science, but it's exciting because helping companies make that move into investments in smart manufacturing at scale, helping them with the business case, because the business case is absolutely compelling. And in fact, you don't do it, you won't be in business in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a great message to say. If you don't do it, you won't be in business. I think that's one of the best drivers in that. But it's like when I say, okay, I would like to do it, how to start? May I point out like where I'm here, I'm a customer, and now I'm scared, like Simon said, like I'm not in business anymore. Where can I get help? How would you go for that, Dean?
Violent, I'm going to push it too.
Yeah, so very happy to answer that. I think the key topic here is that, and that's with all the cases we created. By the way, we have in the meantime close to 200 cases and projects realized in various areas, not only in the automotive world. But I think the key topic is that when you sit around the table and when there is trust, because that is important, and we're able to share data from, let's say, our customer, the relationship we've got, to Atos, and from our kitchen, what we have done as key project worldwide, and connect those two together. I have not seen one session where at the end of the day we couldn't deliver a successful business case for the customer and for us, because there's always there are, let's say, projects to identify where also this has impact on process efficiency, top line, sustainability, decarbonization. All these topics are there, and I think, where does it start? It is really where you sit together, where there's an openness where we can share, and where the best of both teams, from customers and us, sit together and come up with the right ideas. And we are very happy to fuel that. So we're used to that. We've got these kind of environments to really do that and to make it tangible. Of course, most of our customers need examples. So they have, from these 200, that we bring in the right examples which fit exactly the kind of problem setting the customer is in, and really to fuel that thinking. And that is, I think, the best start to a journey like this. And as said, in all these cases, I've seen a lot of, let's say, valuable projects coming out of that.
Can I just add one
Sure.
thing to that quickly, which is just, I don't think it's just the bringing relevant examples from the right subsector. It's about cross-fertilization of ideas, and that's what makes it exciting for me, because we see, we're working with CPG companies, we're working with automotive, aerospace companies, and it's actually quite remarkable the number of ideas that you can bring in from, a soft drinks company to a company that makes airplanes. They seem very, very different at first, but actually some of the underlying problems are very similar, and that's where companies like ours can add a lot of value, I think.
Yeah, and I guess, Jaco, anything from your side you would like to add there? Because I think we're doing some very exciting, or we have got some very exciting plans for Ideal Group, right? Maybe something to close on that.
Yeah, I think it's the past couple of months have been of course also including the planning phase, how we really combine our forces, and we have pretty massive growth plan, I would say. We are building the professional services team at very high pace, with the high reputation that we have for the expertise, and we are looking for 200 heads more in the Northern Europe for this area very, very quickly. So we are definitely open for business, and of course the demand is high, but we still have room for a couple of more clients as well. So please be in contact, because I think these topics are very, very essential for everybody in the manufacturing space at the moment.
Brilliant. And I'll just close with a message. I don't know if we had any questions, Fizzo, or not, but
No, not yet.
Okay, so my leaving message to people is Atos is open for business. If you want to come and talk to us, we're more than happy to get some of our experts to sit down with you, with your teams, and we'll look at building, something jointly that has benefits to you and to your business. So please, we'll leave some details within the links, and as I say, we're open for business. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for taking part of the very first roundtable here. Also interesting how that starts off. So I would just like to say bye over to the Nordics. Thank you for being with us, Jaco. I'll just like take you off from the stage right now. Also you, Simon, thank you for being here. Wijnand, met plezier, bedankt. Goeiedag nog. It's really international, and think, Dean, you can be proud of that team and like what you were speaking about, and I think open for business, that's just like what it is. That's the message, and open for business, enabling businesses.
Yeah, I'm just sorry they didn't have Tom Hanks. You had me, so apologies for that.
It's no problem. Now it's the 13th part of the Fireside Chat, and people can still be with me, so it's like we don't have complaints there.
That's true. I forgot your dynamic. Thank you.
Right. No. Thank you so much. Have a great day, Dean. Bye-bye. Pleasure. So that was the first manufacturing roundtable. But yes, we are already planning the next sessions that are coming up. The next one will already be next week. And this is where you can learn where art ends and manufacturing starts, or manufacturing ends and art starts. Yes, it's about the Atos Manufacturing Art Exhibition 2022, where I'm going to talk with Lee Cavalier about what we're up to and what you will see in the next couple of weeks. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye. See you at the next Atos Manufacturing Fireside Chat.